Welcome back. I am so excited to be here for the Inside Scoop. Yes, you heard it right. Today is Tuesday, y'all. You know what Tuesday means. Tuesday means that we are transforming and soaring in some places, and we are bringing you the Inside Scoop. Well, guess what? This week's Inside Scoop is live from Vegas, baby. Yes, the Greens are taking on Las Vegas. I'm so excited. I have never been here before, so I am experiencing some new things, some different things, and I'm just excited to be able to bring you a piece of me from somewhere completely different. How many of you know that sometimes things happen in life where we have to get out of our comfort zone? We have to do something different in order to get something different. You know what I'm saying? So, I want you to drop in the comments if you have ever been to Vegas. Put a one in the comments. I want to know who has ever been to Vegas. Now, if you've been to Vegas, I want you to drop a one in the comments. If you've never been to Vegas, but you're interested in going, I want you to put a two in the comments. That's if you've never been, but there's a part of you that wants to go and see what the hype is all about. I want you to drop a two in the comments. And then if you've never been and you're like, nah, dog, I don't want no parts of that. That's just not me. Not interested. Don't want it. Put a three in the comments. You heard it right. If you have never ever wanted to experience Vegas, you're like, nope, I just heard too many things about it and I'm not about that life. Put a three in the comments. So I want to know who's joining me live tonight. As you are coming in the room, whether you are live or catching a replay, I want to know your perspective on Vegas. So if you've ever been to Vegas, drop a one in the comments. If you have never been to Vegas, but you would like to go to Vegas, put a two in the comments. If you've never been, not interested, probably won't happen, put a three in the comments. This just gives us a sense of who's all in the room. For many years, I've been saying to my husband, I want to go to Vegas. Let's go to Vegas. And I've been trying to wait and see when we could ever make a trip out here. I didn't know if it was going to be a couple's trip or what. I didn't know if it was just going to be he and I. I thought maybe one day I could get a girls' trip and a couple of us could get together and come down. And it's just never happened. And I kept saying, well, maybe one day a group of girls will invite me, right? And I kept just wishing and waiting. And then I would hear people say, oh, I'm going to Vegas. Oh, I just went to Vegas. Oh, I'm in Vegas. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. What am I waiting on? And so I realized that I did not have to wait for somebody else to do something for me, right? I did not have to wait for somebody to extend the invitation for me to do something that I have desired to do. What are you waiting on? Are you waiting for somebody to give you permission to start a ministry? Are you waiting for somebody to give you permission to write a book? Are you waiting for somebody to give you permission to travel? Are you waiting for somebody to give you permission to apply for a new job? Are you waiting for somebody to give you permission to buy a new house? Are you waiting for permission from somebody else to allow you to initiate a new relationship? What are you waiting on? So many of us, especially us as women who are wives and mothers, are usually waiting on somebody else to give us the green light to go. Well, guess what? God already gave it to you. It's time to go. So many of us who are wives and mothers are waiting for the perfect situation. We're waiting on something to change. We're waiting on a shift to come. We're waiting on something or someone to tell us that this is the right time in order to move forward into the thing that we internally desire. Those days are over. We no longer are in a posture where we need to be waiting on somebody else to allow us to fulfill our dreams. Listen, if you have a dream, goal, or vision on the inside of you, it's because it was placed in there by the Most High. And if it was placed in there by the Most High, yes, He will send you people to help further the vision. He will send you people to affirm or confirm whatever it is that He's placed inside of you. However it may be, there is nothing that says that you have to wait to initiate a thing for somebody to tell you to do so. Look at it this way. We all know the scripture. Faith without works is dead, right? Faith without works is dead. What does that mean? It means that when there is something that is on the inside of you that makes you want to go further, move faster, twist, change, regroup, shift, do something different, it means that you build up the faith wall inside of you, right? But you have to work at the thing. If you don't work at the thing, it is dead, meaning the thing will not come to pass. So, if you have the faith inside of you that God will provide, he's saying that that is good, daughter, son, but it's not enough. I need you to put some work behind it. I need you to put your hands to the plow. I need you to begin molding and shaping some things into existence. I need you to create more space in order to really make this thing come to pass. That work means that you're not waiting for somebody else. It means you are doing. Let me say that again. The wait means that you're not waiting. The work means that you're not waiting for somebody to give you permission. It means that you are doing a thing, that you are taking the first step, that you are making the phone call, that you are updating your resume, that you are working on yourself in order to prepare for the relationship. It means that you're working on your credit, that you're working on a budget in order to get your money right. And I'm going to put in a shameless plug. If you are somebody who is looking to strengthen your marriage, your relationships, and your money so that you can buy that house, buy a new car, pay for your kids' college, travel across the country, whatever the case may be, connect with my husband and I, Regroup for Change. Find us. You can DM us. We are here to help married couples to rapidly strengthen their marriage and their money. That looks like finding the foundational things that are needed to strengthen your marriage, but it also looks like the foundational things that are needed to strengthen your money. I bring this up here and I put the shameless plug in because somebody is saying, I want to move forward, but I don't know how. I'm willing to do the work, but I don't know what to do. I need to do some work on my marriage so that we can skyrocket to another level. I need to do some work on my marriage so that when my kids are gone, I have a solid foundation to fall back on. I'm ready to do some work in my finances so that I can apply for a job that I really want, but they won't take me because how many of you know some jobs do credit checks? I'm not here for that today. What I am saying is that you got to do some work in order for some things to come to pass. So instead of sitting on the sidelines, instead of being the person that I was for many years, waiting for somebody to give me an invitation to Vegas, waiting for a group to say, come on, girl, let's go to Vegas, or a group that I could pull together and say, come on, girls, let's go to Vegas, and not get the excuses of why it wasn't going to happen. I didn't have to wait for my husband to say, okay, I'm ready to go to Vegas. One day I said, you know what? We need a vacation. And boom, here's a resort. Here's the airline. Boom. It was done in a matter of like 10 minutes. I made a decision to go. And what I'm challenging you to do is make a decision. Your decision may not mean to travel to Vegas. And so let's not miss that point. But whatever it is that's been bubbling on the inside of you, the thing that's been keeping you awake at night, the thing that triggers you when you see about it or when you hear it and you're like, whoa, why not me? Woe is me. Woe is not you. Have you done the work? Faith without works is dead. With that being said, I'm super excited about having made the decision for myself and my family to be here in Vegas. I often think about this saying. Whenever I think about Vegas, whenever I'm watching a movie about Vegas, you know the saying. Drop it in the comments. Before I say it, if you know the saying, I want you to drop it in the comments. When you hear people say that they are going to Vegas, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? I mentioned a girl's trip. Maybe it's a bro trip. What comes to your mind when you think of Vegas? Yes, I see the comments coming in. You got it. You got it. You got it. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Well, listen, y'all know by now who I am. I am Marquita Green, and I am here to help motivate you to soar to your next level. What does that look like? I'm here to help women, specifically those who are wives and mothers, to reconnect with their purpose while still excelling in their role as a wife and a mother. So that looks like a number of things. And when I think about Vegas and what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, it immediately takes my mind to the past, to the things that we've done in our lives that are keeping us bound up. The things that we've done that we don't share with anybody, the things that we've done that we don't want to verbalize to the world, right? As I was thinking about tonight's Inside Scoop and this little time together that we have on Tuesdays, just think about the past kept rising up in my mind. What is the one thing that is continuing to hold women back from being all that they were called, created, and designed and destined to be? Well, that thing a lot of times is fear. And fear comes from so many different places, right? But one of the places that keeps us bound up, that keeps fear on the inside of us, is this idea of our past. Many of us have done some things in our past. That's right, me included. Many of us have done some things in our past that make us feel unworthy, that makes us feel insignificant, that makes us feel tarnished, tainted, that makes us feel stained. When we hold on to those things, we don't move forward because we don't believe that we deserve what it is that we're being called to. We don't believe we deserve that relationship. We don't believe that we deserve to be loved. We don't believe that we deserve that job. We don't believe that we're good enough to sustain that high power position. We don't believe that we have what it takes to maintain this really healthy bank account. We don't believe that we can attract six figures into our bank account every month. We don't believe that we can lead women, men, boys, and girls into their next destiny. We don't believe that people will follow what we say because in the back of our minds, we know that there is something that we've done in our past that is holding us back. We know that we've done something that we weren't so proud of. We know that we've done something that somebody in that time of our life told us that we were wrong for doing. And so we held on to that feeling that we're wrong. We held on to that feeling that we're not enough. We held on to that feeling of shame. We held on to that feeling of guilt. What I want to impress upon you on tonight is it is time to let go of the past. I can give you the best example of me. I will never, ever come on the Inside Scoop. I will never send you an email. For those who are on my MGM email list, we're transforming and soaring together. So if you're not on it, send me a message and I'll tell you how to get on it. Whatever the case may be, I am in a place where I want to see women go to the next level of their lives. And I want that because I know where I felt stuck and bound. And it took a decision. We talked about the decision for me to get to Vegas. A lot of times, in order to move on from our past, it just takes a decision. We have to, one, be honest that there's something that we're holding on to. So in the example that I was given about coming to Vegas, I had to be honest that I was waiting on somebody else to give me permission to come. And then I made the decision. Once I identified that, then I made the decision, I don't have to live like that anymore. That's one. Some months ago, almost a year ago, I made a decision to collaborate in a book. Now, I've been writing for months. For those who've been following me for some time, you know that I had a blog. And I started the blog September 2014, I believe, 7 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. I would write in that blog just the things that were impressed upon my spirit to write. And it was all about empowerment, empowering people to move forward into their next level. and empowering people to go forth and be all that they were called and created to be, whatever that looked like for them. And I would give examples, day-to-day examples of things that were kind of in my life, the things that were just the day-to-day things that we sometimes don't face. Why am I saying this? Because in my writing experience, I kept wanting to write more and I kept wanting to share more, but I was bound. I was bound by my past. I was bound by saying I can only give so much because I don't want to release my past. I don't want to disclose my past. I don't want to share it because what if the people who are reading begin to judge me? What if the people that are reading about my story, about my past, begins to stop reading? What are they going to think? What are they going to feel about me? That happened for years as I was blogging. And then I kept saying, I've got to write. I've got to release something on the inside of me. And so what happened is I made the decision, talking about decisions, to join a collaborative effort. I banded together with other women who were coming together to share a bit of their stories, right? What was produced is a book called Girl, Let's Get Over It Together. Some of you have heard me talk about this book before. What this book symbolizes for me is a release from past, which is exactly what we're talking about today. If you don't take anything else away from this, when you think about Vegas, whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, right? Because there are some things that have been done or that potentially will be done that we don't want people to know about. That's what happens in our past. This book is about releasing the things that aren't necessarily always shared outwardly and in the open just because. In this book, it's a collaboration of stories of women talking about a loss that we've experienced, a loss of self, a loss of identity, a loss of loved ones, a loss of marriages. What my chapter is about a loss of self. It is me talking about how I lost myself in a season and the work I did to find myself. Not only am I sharing that, but I share a very private and personal story of my past. I am no longer afraid to release the sound. I am no longer going to hold on to the past because as long as I keep it to myself, then I am allowing bondage to keep me away from my purpose. This is the season for all of us to unite together and to move away from that past, to move away from that level of bondage. That is why this book is written. And that's why I wanted to share a little bit about moving beyond your past. A lot of us are stuck in it because of the fear of the unknown. What happens if I unleash it? What happens if I reveal some things? What are people going to think? Are people going to turn away? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, and I'm going to tell you why. So what I want to impress upon you, and you see it in the comments or the details rather of the post, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube, you should see this somewhere around, that we don't have to live in the past, but we also don't have to be ashamed of it. We don't have to live in it, but we don't have to be bound by it. Okay? Why is that so important? Because it is from what we've done in our past that when we release it, and I believe we talked about this last week or at some point, that it is in the speaking, it is in the things that you bring to light that you will be set free. We are talking about moving into our purpose. We cannot move into our purpose if we're locked up, if we're bound up, and if we're not free. If you have not gotten your copy, I encourage you to grab a copy for yourself or your daughter, your sister, your bestie, for a woman in your life. You may not resonate with my story. You may not resonate with all the stories in here yet. At some point, you will, or you will encounter somebody who has, and you may need to encourage them through. Grab your copy. I will drop the link below. It is www.transformandsoar.com/book. I will put that in the comments. Why am I saying this? I'm saying it because earlier in the week, and anybody who's listened to my podcast, I started a podcast a year ago. I put it on hold, but my podcast was about, it's called Life on the Beam, and it was about me watching movies. I don't believe in any missed opportunities, okay? And so I can watch a movie, a TV show, whatever, and something will come to me, and it's like this profound revelation. And so I used the podcast platform to share the revelations that I was receiving as I would watch things on a weekly basis. Well, the other day I was watching an episode from Queen Sugar, which was a year outdated. I hadn't caught up for whatever reason. And it was an episode where Nova had found some information about her boyfriend/fiance. This individual, her boyfriend/fiance, is a police officer. This police officer was involved, he's a white officer, and he was involved in a racial situation 20 years prior. He had never disclosed that to Nova because he kept saying, I've only done it one time. I knew that it was wrong at the time I did it, but that is not who I am. I never did it again. It's not who I am. And so I didn't think I needed to bring it up. That's what happens when we follow this mentality. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. When we have this mentality that we've done a thing, but I'm going to cover it up. I'm going to put a cover on it. I'm going to shove it under the table. I'm going to shove it under the bed. I'm going to shove it in a closet and hope nobody sees it. Hope that it never breathes light. Guess what happens? You heard another saying, whatever happens in darkness will come to light. And that's exactly what happened. He didn't disclose it because he thought it was insignificant. He didn't want to dwell on it. He was embarrassed by it, and it didn't define him. And so why talk about it? Well, why talk about it is because when it came up, because she found it on her own accord, it caused some tension in their relationship. That's why we don't hold things in the past, because the things that have been behind us, the things that we've done can catch up to us and can bite us. And we want to make sure that we are not putting ourselves in a position to damage ourselves or relationships going forward. And so when we reveal things, like I did in this book, when we reveal things openly, we don't give space for the enemy to play. We don't give space to create negative situations in the future. We protect ourselves today and in things to come as we're moving forward in purpose. So Nova was devastated. She wasn't so much devastated that he did it. She was more devastated that he didn't disclose it. And she specifically asked him, have you ever done it? And he said no, because he was pushing down some things that he's done, hoping that it would never resurface. It's going to resurface, sis. So instead of letting it come up in a negative way, you stay on top of it. You stay in control of it. You bring it up. You bring it out. You control the narrative. I got to bring this full circle for you. I know we only got a few more minutes. I need to bring this full circle. As I was thinking about all of this, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. How do I encourage people, women, to move forward from the pain of the past? How do I encourage people to share their voice, to unleash their sound? I was immediately reminded of the woman at the well. You know the story, and if you don't know all the details, I encourage you to go over to John chapter 4. Read about the woman at the well. She was a Samaritan woman. She was living a lifestyle that did not honor God per se. But because she was a Samaritan woman, it was not her life's desire to even satisfy God. But what ended up happening is Jesus was passing through her town. He found himself at a well. All the details are in John 4, so I won't get into the details. But he finds himself at a resting place. He's tired, so he sits at a well. I'm going to put a pin in it. If Jesus got tired, guess what? So do we as humans. And what did he do? He rested. So for those super women who are out there listening saying, I can't focus on myself, I can't give myself time to do anything, I just got to keep going, keep going, keep going. You are overburning yourself, overwhelming yourself for no good reason. If Jesus rested, we surely can rest. With that being said, he was resting and he was thirsty. He was at a place where he needed something to replenish his body. We talked a little bit about that last week. He needed something to fill him back up in order to finish his journey. He was waiting on the disciples to come back and bring him some nourishment, but he needed something in the meantime. What do you need in the meantime? We talked about waiting. What are you waiting for to come your way in order to catapult you into your purpose? While you are waiting, what is it that you need in order to sustain you where you are? I encouraged you earlier to put some work into a thing. So instead of waiting, I encourage you to do a thing, to work a thing. In that same way, while Jesus was waiting for food to come, he knew he needed something in the meantime. He couldn't just sit back and wait. So he asked for some water. He asked this Samaritan woman at the well to give him a drink of water. He even knew that he needed to rest and he needed to do something in the wait. He wasn't going to wait in vain. So stop waiting in vain. If you weren't encouraged earlier, I pray that this stirs you up to want to do something. Stop waiting in vain. And so he gets this drink of water and he begins to converse with this Samaritan woman. She is shocked. She's like, wait a minute, you're a Jew. You shouldn't be talking to me at all. But they began to converse and she disclosed that she was living with a man who was not her husband. Watch this. Jesus said, oh, I know that's not your husband, and you've had several others. Wait a minute. I've never seen you before. I've never met you before. I didn't disclose that to you. That's my past. All she shared with Jesus was that she was living in an unmarried situation. Just because we don't speak our past doesn't mean our past isn't known. I've given you some examples. Just like Nova's boyfriend, he didn't speak his past, but Nova knew the past. Come on here. Just because the Samaritan woman didn't tell Jesus about the several men that she had been in company with in her past didn't mean he didn't know the past. In that same way, this reminder came to me because I need to share with you that just because you haven't dealt with your past, just because you haven't disclosed your past, doesn't mean that others aren't aware. Come on here. Just because you didn't say it, it doesn't mean that other people don't know today or won't find out tomorrow. What I am saying to you is this. I am saying that in this season, it is time to release your past. Now, I don't want you to stay bound in your past. I don't want you to dwell in the past. I don't want you to relive moment after moment and have this guilt and doubt covering you up from every end. But I am saying that it's time to move through the past. If you follow my page, I posted yesterday that we need to not wait for the pain to end or not wait for the bad time to be over, but instead we need to live through it. And I gave some examples of ways to live through it. With that being said, I'm encouraging you to find ways to move beyond your past. Your past is there to help catapult you, into your future. It is there to catapult you into your purpose. What you have endured, what you suffered, what you overcame, because you are here listening today, you have overcome a thing. Come on here. Whatever that thing is, there is somebody who needs to hear about that thing so that she or he can overcome as well. You didn't go through it for no reason. It's time to use it for the greater glory. Because you didn't speak it yet, doesn't mean that it's not known. Because you didn't speak it yet, doesn't mean it doesn't need to be disclosed. I am here to encourage you to dismiss the mindset of whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. I am here to help you dismiss the mindset that I'm going to leave my past in the past. I am coming here to help you dismiss the mindset that I won't disclose my voice. I am here instead to say, speak your truth. And the truth is going to be the thing that sets you free. So if you are looking for somebody to connect with, you're wondering, I still don't know how to do this. I'm still not quite sure what this means. I would like some help to walk this out. Let's connect. www.transformandsoar.com/clarity. Let's jump on, I'll drop it in the comments. Let's jump on a call and figure out how we can connect and how I can help you to uncover your past so that you can discover your true self and then recover your purpose path. All right. I thank you so much for joining me tonight. I thank you for tuning in. I pray that you have been blessed. I pray that I have said something that is going to challenge you to move beyond yesterday and move into tomorrow without apology, but being able to be totally, solely focused on who you were called and created to be so that you can soar into your next dimension. All right. I love you. I'm here standing in the gap with you. I can't wait to hear how you've unleashed. All right, let's go. Peace.